Today I'd like to talk about turkey scouting. To me, that is the key to success. Now, once you've located maps that show your running water, your rivers, your creeks, or your satellite images, it's important that you go out and scout this on foot. And what you're going to look for, ultimately, again, is the roost. But first we need to find some sign, make sure there's a lot of turkey in the area, huntable numbers. Tracks is what I like to key in on the most. When we hold the Turkey Tech University, people come from all over the country, and we usually take about 25 people. We go in the woods and we scout, and I show them how to read the sign, how to tell what time birds are coming through from their tracks, just things that I've learned over the years. Tracks will tell you a lot, and I'll look at the people that are looking down at the tracks, and I know that's a person who's thinking. Sometimes I'll see people that just say, oh yeah, a turkey's been here, and they walk on. Boy, you're missing it. Tracks will tell you, number one, if the gender of the turkey. Is it a gobbler? Is it a hen? The track of a gobbler is probably about 5 inches long, whereas the track of the hen is maybe a little over half that size. It also tells you what direction they're traveling in and where they're coming from. And I want to know these things because when I take someone out hunting, I've got plan A, which is the roost bird. If that don't work out, I've got plan B, where I might need to get to a certain spot where I know they're going to pass through. Maybe not at first light, but maybe 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. That's my plan B bird. Plan C bird might be dusting bulls, where it's late morning, early afternoon. Plan D might be calling down into the river bottoms where they're hanging out during the day to cool off. So we always have a plan. We never quit. But for any of these plans to work, you need to do some scouting. You can rely on calling only so much. If they answer you and they happen to come in, hey, that's great. But a lot of times it's going to come down to positioning yourself to be the key to success, or using your woodsmanship skills to use the lay of the land to make your movements. Sometimes if there's a gobbler on the other side of a knoll or hill, you're certainly able to use the terrain to your advantage to move and get out in front of him. If you always think, where is he headed? How can I get out in front of him? Chances are you're going to help your success, because a lot of times these gobblers are with hens, and all the calling in the world is not going to bring them into you. You need to figure out where they're going to go and how you could beat them to that spot. I found it to be very advantageous for me to learn the lay of the land better than that turkey. I know the trails well, I know the hills, the terrain, and I'm able to maneuver and get out in front of these birds. And that will definitely help you be successful in the woods. Now let's say you've located an area that holds these tracks, these feathers, dusting bulls. You know you're darn close, but you've just not found the roost. A trick that I've often used is, let's say it's before the season. What I'll do is I'll go out before daylight. I'll set up maybe 100, 150 yards away from a river. Where I've seen a lot of tracks and turkey sign. And I won't take any calls with me. Leave them home. You do not want to educate the birds. Wear camouflage from head to toe. Just sit up against a tree and listen. When it comes daylight, that turkey's going to talk without you saying a word. He naturally wants to attract hens, so he's going to gobble from the roost. Pay attention to what direction that gobble comes from. If it's coming from back here, okay, try to locate which stand of trees it's in. Now once he gets down on the ground and starts to walk off, pay attention to what direction he goes when he gets off the roost. Probably 75% of the time he's going to follow the same routine day after day after day. So let's say, for example, he hits the ground and he heads to the east. All right, you note that. Now once he gets far away where he's not going to see you, go into where you heard the gobbling from the roost and look for the roosting location. Not only do they have their favorite tree, they have their favorite branch, and you're going to find a lot of droppings underneath. And it's very important to know the difference between the dropping of the hen and the gobbler. The hen dropping is more round and popcorn shape, whereas the dropping of a gobbler is more tubular, kind of like your finger, a little hook to it, kind of like a J shape. They don't splat when they hit the ground, they do break up. So if you find a limb that has a whole bunch of droppings, pay attention and see if it's gobbler or hen. And walk along the tree line, because it's going to tell you how many birds are in this group. You're going to be able to see different piles of droppings, and there might be a big flock of birds there, or there might be several gobblers, and You know, if you're hunting with a partner, that's good to know, because you might be able to double up. Now what you're going to want to do next, if there's a trail there in the woods, I guarantee you when he comes down, they're going to follow that trail. They want to take the path of least resistance. Just go and confirm it. Make sure you see some tracks on the trail. If there's not a trail, then they're going to follow a ridge like I have behind me. They're probably going to walk the top of that for a little ways first. But if there is a trail, set up maybe 80 yards from there, from the roost, walk down there and find a tree that breaks your outline, one that's larger than your shoulders, and maybe put some debris in front of there, some fallen logs and branches. Build yourself a little blind, or you could set up some netting. And when it comes time for your hunt, sneak in there well before daylight, at least a half hour before daylight. Don't be afraid of spooking the birds. Deer regularly walk underneath, raccoons. You don't want to walk directly under the roost, but it's okay to make a little noise as you're going in. If you're crunching a few leaves, that's just part of the activity in the night. When it comes daylight, go really quiet. And I'm not going to make any sound until that gobbler gobbles. Now when that gobbler gobbles, he's telling me now it's okay to make your sound. So I'm going to turn the volume real low on a push button call. Just do a few tree yelps. That's just basically telling him, hey, there's a hen roosted over here too. He's already wanting to be in your direction, so you don't have to do a whole lot of calling. Just let him know you're there. He's gonna gobble. Resist the urge to call. He already knows you're there. You might want to give it maybe 7 to 10 minutes later. Just reinforce one more time that, hey, I'm over here. This is where you want to be. If it's a windy, rainy day and he's not talking much, that's the advantage of your scouting, because he's going to fly down, he's going to follow the same routine, he's going to walk right past you, you're going to get your shot. Well, as simple as this was, this has always been a very large key to success for me, and I hope it brings you success as well.